There we go. I have not had a good day today. If you want to talk about mental health and stuff, my day's been like that. And it's because a little tiny Thai man is doing my head in. And he's doing everyone's head in. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. People are going to be talking about things a little bit different, and it's going to be an interesting one. And on really good timing, that is that we are bringing in our guest, which is Dan from the Good Enough Chats. Hello, Dan. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is not Worko. Worko is currently in Amsterdam, apparently. But before we get started, introduce yourself and who you are and what your connection is to Wednesday and how we kind of connected.
Yeah, so I basically picked Sheffield Wednesday as my team in the mid-90s. As you can tell, I'm not from Sheffield from my accent, but
yeah.
I'm from Gloucester in the southwest, and I chose Wednesday in the early mid-90s, and they rewarded me by getting to both the FA Cup, the League Cup final, and finishing 7th in the Premier League very shortly afterwards.
Yeah,
and then it all went Pete Tom from there onwards. So, but yeah, it's been a roller coaster. My connection to Jake is I contacted him and I asked him if he would come on a new podcast I started in the last 12 months, which is all about men's mental health and destigmatizing it. I'm not an expert in mental health, but I've been through some stuff, and I think it's really important that more blokes talk about how they're feeling, what they're dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your mental health today?
I'm gonna answer that without DC in the equation, because I'm gonna separate.
Yeah, take the ownership out of it, and then go in with the ownership and without the ownership. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. So without the ownership, I'm gonna go with a 7, which I'd say is as good as it has been over the last month.
Yep.
Been a bit of a wobbly month. But yeah, I'd say about a 7, which is good. With DC in the equation, I'm going to tell you he's probably knocking 2 points off that at least. But I'm feeling, big picture, I'm feeling more optimistic than anything that this is the final end game for him.
Yeah. So I'm going a 6 without DC, and I'm about a 3 with DC. Just because I have dealt all day making video after video, and I've also had to deal with so many methods going, have you seen this? Have you seen this? People, please understand, I have made Sheffield Wednesday content for the last 12 to 13 years. I will have seen it. If there isn't a video about it, they pretty much probably mean I'm making it. And it's been a weird day because I've had no kids with me today because they've been at school and nursing. My wife's been at work, so I've had the house to myself. But because there's been this impending doom all over us all day, I've not been able to relax or do anything. Yeah. So I've just it's been weird. There is a clip on my little camera pocket thing in the house, which I'm debating on if I'm going to do it or not. And it's just a shot of me hitting my head on the thing and going, that is all, and that being it. Because it just feels that way. But I do get what you're saying. It does feel like the end is near. Surely they can't be. I can't see how he gets away with it now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
There's too many things going on.
Reassure everybody, I'm definitely not an optimist. By trade, I am very much.
You're a Wednesday fan, so you're a pessimist.
Yeah,
it's part of the job. When you get your shirt, you get given the option, the optimism get thrown away and go, there you go, take your pessimist card. Please look after it, keep it safe. Your thing is to blame referees, the squad wasn't good enough, and these days blame DC. Yeah. But it's a weird one because I really enjoy going on Dan's Good Enough Chat because, in the community, I'm very much about making sure people's mental health is fine. If people have an issue, we stop the stream, we talk, we check, we make sure everyone's okay. Because I don't want to read one day that someone's partner, son, daughter, grandparent has sent me an email going, sorry, you won't be on anymore because I've not seen him, kind of thing. And I've had that. I've had it happen. Ouch. Paul, also, I think you sent me an email earlier. I think it was you. If it was very interesting. We may talk about it in another stream. But I think for me, it's my mental health and football combined. So if Wednesday do bad on a Saturday, I've still got to talk about it after the game, relive it all, and then talk about it again Monday and relive it all. But by Monday, I'm probably a bit more calmer. I've probably seen a bit of a clearer situation. And the thing is, I think one of the things we've got with mental health and football, I think there's a really good thing that Norwich City did where it was two blokes at football and didn't speak to him and then realised he wasn't there and just couldn't understand it. I thought it was you, Paul. It was really interesting. If when DC goes to hell...
There'll always be someone. There'll always be someone, John.
He'll send us the invoice, the cheeky bugger, saying, can you pay this, please? But I think at the minute as well, the other reason I think in one sense it's really good to do the mental health episode tonight with everything that's going on. You've got a group of staff at our club who've not been paid all week or weekend, trying to figure out what's going on, having to ring people and say, sorry, I can't pay this. I can't pay that. And I don't think DC understands, or if he does, it's very ill-sighted, that he's messing with people's livelihoods and he's messing with people's mental health. There's going to be people there who are thinking, how do I get out of this? What do I do next? How do I do everything else? Because the first thing when I heard about the staff not getting paid, I immediately thought of your podcast with other people who could go listen to it and see that they're not on their own. But B, also how they're going to be doing over the weekend. How are you meant to go take your kid to dancing or football on a Saturday and Sunday without thinking, am I getting paid this week? Am I not getting paid this week?
Yeah.
And as a football club, take the football club and that side away from it. There's still people who are not getting paid. They might be, even if they're the footballers, yes, everyone's had them you live between your means. Like Barry Bannon might have a bigger means than me and you put together, but they have a means. It's great what you do with the state of the people. It's important. Well, I don't want to have a stream where someone doesn't turn up and I don't know where they are. We blame Jake. Take that back.
Harsh words.
DC has been here nearly half my life. In a way, it's sad that I don't feel upset about it because we're all quite numb to it. What's your take on the whole situation as a whole, Dan? In a kind of Sheffield Wednesday sense of,
I don't understand how it can have got to this point without some sort of intervention from the EFL. I know there's a lot of work around the football regulator that seems to be delayed before it comes into effect. It's too late for us now, but
I kind of don't think it is. I think Reading has shown that people can now be kicked out because basically what happened with Reading was the owner had to reset the new fit and proper tests.
What was it that prompted that, though? What was it that meant that he had to do that as opposed to just carrying on and drifting? Because surely DC's reached a threshold now.
It was a case of similar situation, constantly not paying players, constantly missing deadlines. His was mainly HMRC not getting paid, not paying the tax man. And they made him reset the fit and proper test thing. The new fit and proper test rule, I don't know if you know, or anyone in the chat knows, you have to have at least 2 to 3 seasons worth of cash flow and show them the 2 to 3 seasons worth of cash flow.
Yeah.
He hasn't got it. There isn't a cash flow there. If there was a cash flow there, he'd be able to pay people on time. The fact that all I've heard today is, have I got an example? I need visual aids. Is DC going like this to friends going, Phil, can I have some money in here, please? I need to pay my staff. It makes me really embarrassed as a football club, but the fact that you got to that point, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does completely. And I think you're absolutely right about the people that got this uncertainty over them now. They don't know when the money's coming, if the money's coming. And these are typically people that aren't being paid all that much money in the first place. You're right. The footballers, yes, it's not great, especially when you're going through contract renegotiations and all that kind of stuff. But they will have a bigger buffer than the people that are working, excuse me, day in, day out for the club. And for those people, one of the things that they teach you when you go through things like cognitive behavioral therapy around mental health issues is that you've got to try and work out the things that you can control and the things that you can't. And unfortunately for these people, the fact that they haven't been paid is not something that they have any control over. And that's the thing that's going to be the biggest source of stress for them right now. So
and
really
I think if you have someone who potentially they've just bought a new house or something like that, for some of these people, it's going to be on their credit check for the next 6 years because they've had to do this, but through no fault of their own.
Yeah.
No one's done it. And the thing is, to quote Adam here, he hasn't got a pot to piss in by the sounds of it. And the fact that one of the articles we heard today was him basically saying, I'm going around asking people for money. Surely that tells us there's something wrong.
Was that a report, wasn't it? That wasn't quoted from him. It wasn't him saying that.
It was a report from the Star. Right. But from what I've heard, and he basically, for the longest time, we've all thought that the money coming from Daddy Dearest. But it now makes you wonder, have there been some sort of rift with Daddy Dearest? And that's why it's now, don't say it, Jake. Sorry, there's somebody I watch on Instagram, and he takes the Michael out of Donald Trump, and he's the advisor to Elon Musk and baby moron Mark Zuckerberg, and he calls him Daddy Donald. I am not calling him Daddy Chance Theory. No way. My brain's, as you can tell, my brain's absolutely fried today. It's been a very long day, so bear with me. But with the Wednesday side of things and with the mental health side, what do you think clubs and the EFL side could do so better to help with it?
I think they need to speak up now. So my day job, by the way, is I'm in PR and communication. So you and I have talked about this before. I find it incredibly frustrating how badly the communications is handled.
Here's the thing. I've had it all day. Why are they so silent? Apart from the obvious, they've not been paid, so they've not turned up.
Well, there's one or two reasons. One is that they've taken a very poor decision to stay quiet and not engage, which wouldn't be out of character based on their previous form. The other is probably more likely, which is that they don't have the information, or the decisions within the organisation haven't yet been made that will enable them to communicate anything. Probably it's a combination of both, because it does feel like it's a rudderless ship at the moment, and if it's that kind of the whole problem with the club is that it's
there's got no direction.
Who's not communicating and doesn't let anybody else do anything, and doesn't employ experts to do the roles that other clubs have got in place.
The so-called experts are always wrong.
Exactly.
Question from Bob for you. A question for Dan. So what's your podcast actually about? Is it like an AMC type of thing?
What does AMC type of thing mean?
Bob, you're going to have to put an explanation there. I'm not reading that. I've already called in. No. No. But thank you, Barry. You're helping the humour. It helps.
I'll answer Bob's question with that, and then he can come back and tell us what the AMC bit means. But basically, when I went through some mental health stuff a few years back, and the thing that I realised was, as soon as I started answering the question, "How are you feeling?" honestly, when people asked it, the reaction was completely different to if I just sort of tried to cover it up. So I thought when I was feeling better, I would do something to try and encourage and show people that it's good for blokes to talk about their stuff. So the podcast is basically guys who have been through some sort of lived experience of mental health, come onto the show, they talk to me, and they answer the same 5 questions every time. And the only thing that they've got to do is talk about their experience, their actual experience. They're not experts. I'm not an expert. But the fact that the conversations are out there and are happening, that's the thing that matters most. Because if I'd had that when I was in need, I think it would have been really helpful. So I'm trying to do that.
Andy Men Club is what you're trying to say. AMC and Andy Men Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well,
kind of. The Andy Men Club, if you haven't got time to go to Andy Men Club, is the way I kind of like the stuff on our episode drops on Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday.
There's stuff on there that I haven't spoke about even to my wife. Like my missus didn't know about it, and after the episode, I went and told her, cried a little bit, and didn't want to tell you. But sometimes opening up to someone who you don't really know is sometimes that break that can help. Where it does, and it's just little things you don't realize that you keep vented away from like your own family or loved ones or just friends.
And I hope everyone that's tuning in tonight listens to Jake's episode, because, as he said, there's stuff on there that he's not talked about before. The reason I contacted him was because I've been watching the streams. He's been my source of news about Wednesday for years. And I'd heard him
very odd when we had a Zoom call. It's like, this is feeling very strange. I don't know what to do. And me on the lightweight going, I haven't got a clue what to do either, so you're fine.
But also the shed backgrounds as well. This is real. This is real too. But like, we're basically both shed dwellers who are on the internet.
I'm convinced he crap himself that someone will get a hold of the club accounts and find. I question the accounting. Good evening, guys. I hope you're all well. The American Consulate are discussing their offer on Radio Sheffield on Wednesday night. I've seen this. It'll be interesting to see that the Adam Shaw one, or I think it's the Adam Shaw one, mate. I don't think it's the Walmart one, because the Walmart one, if it was, because I believe Radio Sheffield said it's the Florida Consortium, and I know Adam Shaw's involved with that one. And the other thing with the thing is, I like that because we need to know what's going on. We need to know who the people are, what they want to do. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, town halls, where they just go and have a thing. I'm a big fan of them, and I don't see why there's not more of them in football. I think they're better than a fan forum because you get a bit of everything. Everyone should be involved, from accountant to the tea lady, where everyone can get the frustrations out. Andy Men Club can go. That's the one.
Gotcha.
There's an obvious rift between DC and Danny, even though it's supposed to be fixed in January. It feels more packed up until the season end. I have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling that it's less that it was made up, and I think there've been some promises, and those promises haven't materialized now, because Danny's actually shot himself in the foot tiny little bit, because he'd come out and he'd
not a little bit.
Being nice. But
he's definitely got a bit. He's got a bit too soon, hasn't he?
He's got a bit premature. He's got a little bit premature, and the thing is, though, the interviews, when you actually listen to them or read them, they're very German, because Germans don't speak future tense; they always speak past tense. So his way, I'm not using this as an excuse, he still shouldn't have done it. Whoever was his PR person, if he got one, should have turned around and said, all Sheffield Wednesday stuff is off the table. The right answer should have been, I'm currently the manager of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. I'm currently contract till 2027. If something was to come up, I would love to take the opportunity, but right now I'm concentrating on what I'm doing at Wednesday. Done. As a PR person, you sign off on that and go, yeah, that's it, done. Because right now, as a PR person, you must be watching everything that's going and just hitting your head against that wall behind you going, this is wrong.
But it's like I said to you before, a while back, it depends on, and this is the bit we don't know, it depends on what Danny wants at the end of the day. If we hope that he wants to stay at the club, that the club gets new owners, he gets a budget, and he gets to do what he's got the potential to do.
Yeah.
But he might not want that. But he has, you're right, he's got the contract until 2027.
He knows what he signed. He knows what he signed, and he knows that it had a release clause in it. It's not going to get lowered. Sorry, nobody going to lower that. That I know recently that they've had the situation at Plymouth where they lowered it, let him go because he wanted to go, it was unfixable. Fine, I get that. But if you've got no cash, like DC seems like he hasn't, and the 5 million on the table, you're not going to let it walk away. Thank you for that. I cannot say your name. I'm just going to call you JJ. So no offense, mate. I will struggle with that. The Derby Counties, no person should go through. This truly does affect the mental health. We went through when it went to wire for us. So Hawk gets up. Thank you, mate. Much appreciate that. Hopefully, it will be some positive news. Direction. If they got direction and they tell us plans and what they want to do, then fine. That's more than we ever got before.
The one thing I would say though on that, with a note towards mental health and people's sort of hope and optimism, is it's been 10 years and that's not happened.
Yeah.
So that's what we'd like to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
You're going to have to get forced or pushed.
Yeah.
Panic for the second refresh of the embargo page, a different piece of text appears. Oh, no, I've been checking that all day. It's really bad, actually. If I go to embargo on my phone, it immediately takes me to the actual embargo website. I've been on it that much.
You know what? What was the time of day that it would kick in? Do you know that?
Probably tomorrow or Wednesday. 33 minutes ago, Sheffield went to the Star Facebook report that players still have not been played and risk a free window ban. What I've been told, what I know is that it was meant to all get paid at 5:30. I think non-playing staff, and I think playing staff were going to get paid later tonight. I think it goes till midnight. I don't think it goes till the end of the banking day. I think it goes at the actual end of the day. How do you think Chanseri compared to Dave Allen in popular? Dave Allen winning by a country mile, and I never thought I'd say that. Dave Allen was, did the wages get paid after that it was being paid? We think that wages got paid to the non-playing staff, but apart from that, we don't know. Because, again, nothing's been put out. Nothing had been put. We haven't heard anything. Normally, there is a thing that goes, this is a statement from Chanseri. He's silent. And that, it says everything you need to know for me.
Well, we know there's progress. I saw some rumours about obviously the story about Adam Shaw coming over to Sheffield.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. Well, that doesn't matter if DC's not here as well, does it?
No. There's no one who he could talk to right now. I think you probably could have the general manager, but that's still not the person you want to talk to. If he's in Thailand, there's no point you being here. And also the other thing as well for me is the Adam Shaw thing. Yes, if he came in, great. He's probably going to have his own consortium. From what I've heard, it's a mixture of NFL players and maybe some MLB players. So rich people in sport kind of stuff. But here's the thing. If you've already put 2 bids in and it's been rejected, how much does he actually want?
Well, that was the rumor. Was it 100 million? Was the Walmart offer?
It was 100 million on the offer from Walmart, and the Florida consortium bid, I think it was 70 or 75 million, and he turned that down. If you've got money issues and you've got the ball to turn down 75 million, it makes you wonder how much debt there actually is, because the club itself doesn't have the debt. He's always said the debt's in his name. So the debt's in DC's name, not the club's name. But because he owns the club, it's technically still in the club's name, if that makes sense, but it's not. He's taken all the risk by taking all the debt. And I think that's the bit where he's like, how much does he actually owe? To defend Danny, we are partly to what happened behind the scene. Can't imagine it's good. All the shit and not paid. Yep, I wouldn't. Someone probably changed DC passwords. They can't. You know what? That's actually probably true. Actually, I do know someone who went to IT who might have done that.
Have you thought about doing this, by the way?
Yeah. GJ knows he's DC. So without paddling, thinks if he takes Radio £10, we'll go away. We won't go away. with Yorkshire people who are very loud, and a Wednesday fan base that is very opinionated.
Yeah,
Why are they rejecting bids? The only reason I can think he's rejecting bids is because he owes more money than the club is getting bid for. Because if 75 million doesn't clear your debts, how much does he actually owe? Because it can't be, because we've heard rumours that it's 150 million he wants, and then I think Adam Shaw even said that there was a statement he put out, he wanted 250 million or something daft like that. We're not worth that. No club worth that. Newcastle went for 300, and I thought that was ridiculous. If he turns 100 million, then the fact says they ain't selling, they need to be forced out. No one in their right mind does that. I agree. I completely agree. I've heard the exit Man City. God, I hope not. I really hope not. If the debt's in Chancery's name, does that mean we can kiss Hill for good bye-bye? No, because there is a protection order on Hillsborough. It cannot be it can't be taken away. You can't just build flats on it or something. There's a protection order on it. It's got to be used as a central part of the community. I said communication because I'm talking to Dan, and that's his job. My brain, you can see my brain going a miles into a minute today. Can we change the combination to the doors so DC can't get in? Can try. Right, Pete, I'm gonna have a good one, Bob.
Cheers, Bob.
So how ideal world, right? And I know this is dreamy area. How would you like to see it go down? And do you want a statement from DC at the end of while he's leaving, or do you want him to silently just do this and move and leave?
Well, do you know what would be brilliant? Would be new owners coming in and then just telling him exactly what he's got to do. Because I think we can all agree that anytime DC does pipe up and start talking, it's usually bad news. Yeah.
The problem is DC's reign is untenable, but he's technically the owner. I think the only way he's going to go is via a Reading's kind of you failed the fit and proper person test. I also don't understand and don't get why someone was lending the money.
No, it's got to be family. Surely that's the only route that he's got a chance of getting money back if he's proved that he's really bad.
The only thing is how much had the family had enough of him then? At what point does the family turn around and say, "Oh, we're done"? Because they must be bailing him out. Like we've all fought it, and it's been said in hush circle, but is the money coming from his family side of things? Because no one can ever find these businesses. I found a couple of them, but they're not enough to run Wednesday Football Club.
No.
Like they probably make 10 million-ish a year. Like I think it's 2 million a month we lose a month. Add that over the course of it.
There's also something I've never been able to get my head around with Chancery is why with a club that's got the history, the size of fan base, why Chancery has never managed to get a big brand as a sponsor of our shirts.
Yeah, I'd never know that.
Because they've all been much smaller companies or his own name, obviously.
A-up, really small start-up, and got done for fraud, if I remember correctly. Because it was the one a disco lot. You mean to tell me D-Tax is a legitimate business? We all remember looking for those taxes and they never turned up. Then again, you look at how many limited companies we got that are Sheffield 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where when you look at the accounts, it's just funneling money to one account, to the next account, to the next account. Yeah. I think someone's right about the books. They are scared for someone to look at the books. Let's look for some loose change ourselves. If we can imagine our neighbours helping DC with buckets. To be fair, I've had quite a lot of Sheffield United fans actually just go, "I'm not going to banter you. I feel sorry for you," and I think that's worse. What does failing the fit and proper taste intention do? Would he have to take an F on the table? So basically, if he fails it, he would get disqualified from owning a football club. He wouldn't be able to. That's basically what they did with Reading's owner. He got disqualified, so he had to put it up for sale. Yeah. I think they had 30 days originally, and I think that then got extended to 90 to give them more time. But the problem is that if they don't find a sale after that, that's where you panic. That's where they are trying not to that more clubs go under.
With Reading, the guy that ended up buying it had already put 2 offers in previously.
Yeah.
Before it kind of got to that point.
And they finally got to a point where they just had to accept it. So I wonder if we might have a similar thing. Well, the Florida Consortium, they put 2 offers in. I wonder if there's a case where the EFL goes, you got this offer, and this offer. We're gonna look at your business plan. You take that one. And I don't want the EFL to get involved in the sale of the club, but they may have to. All the money shuffling about just proves the chance of time to go the EFL or take it away. Yep. Do we think Milan knew he was selling someone dodgy? I'll be honest with you, Milan doesn't have a good track record of actually selling clubs. He didn't really sell Leicester to very good owners, if you remember. They had to get bought out again.
Did he sell Portsmouth? That was to some Russian gangster, wasn't it?
Yeah, Portsmouth didn't. He got a little bit of a habit, Milan, and not potentially doing his homework. He has had a habit where it's never go right. Elevate is still a thing, but you can't. I don't think you can buy it. I think I've gone on the website before and it says everything's sold out. It's still plastered. There's Elevate. You know the Blue Steel energy drinks. DC's a director in that company.
Funny that.
Yeah, funny that. He's a director in that company.
Have you ever seen any Blue Steel energy drinks or just advertising hoardings?
I've never been able to get one. I've tried. Did anyone get a taste of those? Yeah, there we go. Great minds think alike. Therefore, it will be loosening DC's hand force himself. It will, but at the same time, I have a funny feeling if it is the family that is looking at things and stuff, does the family go to a court and go, we're stripping him of it? He's not mentally fit to run it, or something of that nature, and just say he's not mentally fit to run it. We'll run it, and we'll then find a. Because I can't think this is doing good for their business. Like I know Thai Union Foods shares have plummeted recently. The actual food company not doing well. Like they're having to recover losses after the Red Lobster debacle because they bought Red Lobster and then they ran it into the ground. I've never been able to get any. Never been able to get any. And to be honest with you, I'm scared of what he might have put in it. I do know he's not a big fan of mine.
It's bright blue. Don't drink it.
Yeah. The Shell company didn't Man City and PSG do the exact same thing. So, yeah, they did, but not a blatant. And they can get away with it because they're Man City and PSG. And it doesn't look like they are getting away with it. PSG did have they had a big ban, I think, if I remember correctly. PSG did have an issue.
They also had a load of money.
Yeah, that helps. Tuna flavor. Oh, all I can think now is that he's just taken the cans of tuna and the brine and just put it in and shaking it up and gone, there you go, like energy drink.
You can get a bluefin tuna, can't you? So
yeah, you can.
Bluefin steel.
Why doesn't he realise that it's better for him to sell? You want to answer this one, Dan? Because I don't have a answer for this one.
I guess it's more expensive for someone to buy as a championship club than a League One club. So it's better for him to sell it as a championship club, definitely. But if he's got no inclination to leave, he genuinely hasn't, and he can afford, I mean, he's afforded to run the club as a League One club. We didn't have so many issues then, did we?
He was quiet. It was lovely. I thought he wasn't around.
So maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's obviously he came in with his 5-year plan to, was it win the World Cup or something like that?
It was 2-year plan to get up to the Prem. He wanted us to have Prem football by our 150th anniversary, and then after that, there wasn't really a plan. This is Dan from the Good Enough podcast. I've recently just done an episode with him. It goes out on the 5th of June, and we are talking about mental health and the football club, because today they are really combined and quite important for a day like today.
Very, very, yeah.
So yeah, we don't live near each other, but we've got similar backgrounds.
Yeah, we're in the same shed right now.
Yeah, we're in the same shed. He just the other side. Shed friends. Oh, shed friends. The blue steel logo. One can.
I like that.
I'm scared the blue steel's going to be antifreeze.
Well,
like
it could be. It could be if no one's ever drank any of it. It could well be. Who knows?
If the FL were to force him to sell, how long will it take for a takeover to happen after all tests? I don't think it would be long, because it didn't take Reading long. I think Reading was sold in about a month, maybe 2 months. Yeah. And I think it would be very similar. I don't think it would be long. The only difference is with the Reading owner, he already had a club. He had a Wickham before. So he already had a little bit of good favour and leeway with it, which is interesting. Wouldn't surprise me a few years we find out he did have debts and people. It turns out it's the time. I want to laugh at that, but I also can't, because I can see it. I really can. Given the grief he gets, why is he hanging on? Pride.
And also the fact that he's not in the country, right? So
he's not in the country. He's
got a physical distance from it, so it's not going to feel as like visceral and real to him whilst all of this is happening.
I think it's very interesting that it's never been properly covered in like the Thai papers. It goes in a couple of times when he does stuff. Like, let me have a look, because I might be able to have a look. This is how much I am looking into stuff. I've just put in the paper and it come up straight away. And I do this all the time just to see what's going on. Because this is the only problem when you have someone who's not in the UK. You have to question everything. It's the Queen. That might be why he's a little bit distant today. It is the Queen's birthday in Thailand. So he can do all this on the Queen's birthday.
As with all these things, though, unlike it seems with DC, he would have known that was coming up when in advance. Yeah. Like bank holidays, they're not a surprise. So it's just he doesn't seem to be able to sort of function and the fundamentals of payroll and things like that. It's just nuts.
No. I think the monkey with symbols inside Daisy's head needs winding up because it seems that everything stopped working. Heard on BBC Sheffield they are doing an interview with the Florida Bay who isn't Adam. Aha, there we go. Thank you. That's what I want. This means there's another consortium, or does this mean it's another member? We'll find out on Wednesday. I will probably do a video after it all. I'm just going to have to listen to Radio Sheffield. I haven't listened to Radio Sheffield in a while.
Have they said what time that interview's likely to go out?
I don't think so, but it'll be between 6 and 7. So you might have to listen to the whole show. So 6 and 7, BBC Radio Heaven. 6 till 7 with Rob Statten, Andy Ginnings. I remember the bloody jingle. Okay, now. Jake, I thought it was DiCanio himself next to you with the guest shirt. Hey!
On that point, this is something that a mate of mine drew for me years ago.
It's awesome.
DiCanio in that shirt. Look.
That is actually kind of wow. Sure. You've been pushing over many referees.
Although I just noticed because it's faded over the years that now looks more like a Southampton strip than the Wednesday.
Yeah,
strip.
It does a bit. Yeah. Have the people been paid? We don't know yet, Team Minty. The club is silent. We heard stuff from people. I know Twitter. I know it's not the best source of places, but some people who are a little bit in the know on Twitter said some people have, some people haven't. We don't know. So at Reading, Dye was ordered to pay wages into account in 2020. It took him 2 years. Cool. We could have the similar situation though, with it not being 2 years and then go, it's happened again. It's very similar. It's a very similar situation. The only difference is DC eventually finds the cash, but what happens at the end of May? It's funny how, sorry, end of June. It's funny at the beginning of May, he's able to pay everyone because we got gate receipts, we got tickets being sold, we got season tickets being sold. We now get to end of June, beginning of June, and there's nothing going on, and there's no money. I think that's what worries me when people say don't go to games, don't buy shirts. This is obviously what's keeping the club afloat. I understand it with it, but if you then take that away, you're in a worse position for the people who are not getting paid, because then they are constantly fearing where is the money coming from. I've been to Thailand. They're very big on the royal family. Yep. We don't know. Maybe non-playing staff play, but if radio silence, yes, it is. Can't say proud level. Glad I stopped myself there. I don't understand why the club hasn't had a state. The PR man himself doesn't quite understand it. He just doesn't get it.
I think it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be that they've taken a decision until they've got something concrete to say. They're going to say nothing at all, which is it's a strategy that someone.
Ronan Keating's going to come out in a big thing in the stadium.
Yeah, it's either that or it's the fact that the comms team, the PR team, can't do anything until the decisions have been made by the business, and it's as likely to be either of those at the moment.
It could also be option 3 that they've not been paid, so they've told you, "I'm a chuck coming to work."
Do you know what?
I wouldn't blame them.
That is also entirely possible. Like if you've not paid your comms team, who's making your statements? Now I know DC is quite good at making the statements himself.
Yeah.
He's quite good at willing to make them. He's not good at making them. But
good point. I believe it's middle of June and beginning of July. That's actually a very good point. That could that means he's got a safety net. I don't want to have a safety net. The staff haven't been paid. Who's in the office to issue a statement? Exactly.
Are they paid on the Sky royalties? Are they paid on a quarterly basis?
I can't remember. I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Because maybe that's what maybe he wants to.
Maybe that's what he's banking on.
Get as much money in before he sells.
Thing is, it's surely if you're someone who's coming to buy Wednesday Football Club now, you're in the driving seat, though, wouldn't you think? You know he's got no cash. And you could go with I'm surprised that we haven't heard more about like some of them saying, "Hey, we're going to buy, sign this, we'll pay your payroll." But I don't think you can do that. I think it's got to be transferred over because I think it's technically fraud, or it can be looked at fraud or something like that. But I don't think the man could take another loan. Let's put it that way. If it happened, if this has happened twice in 2 months, I really don't hold much hope for the next month when the wages are due. No. If I'm somebody at the club, I'm literally writing my CV up and looking for another job. But I think there's a lot of people who are too loyal because of fans. I think the EFL should step in, it'll be jumping for goalposts. Thing is, also, when people have been talking about the pitch getting laid and the training facilities, some of that is grant money, but some of that will have been done months in advance before you get to it. So some people thinking where they had the thing, he will probably got that already. What if, hear me out, the money for that was meant to be for the wages had come out of that to pay for the pitches?
True. Possible.
Didn't he have millions to come in for season? He did, and apparently that's all gone from what I've read online. Part of me thinks he wants an inbound so he doesn't have to spend. Yeah, but it wouldn't work because if he had to do that, he can only if Bannon, Pato, and Akin all sign, we can't make any signings unless we terminate someone's contract or we sell them. And we all know how good he is at trying to sell players.
But I reckon the other thing is if we're under a 3 transfer window embargo, then the value of the asset is diminished as well. So the club will be worth less if you can't put money in to buy more players, unless there was some sort of loophole with the EFL regulations that meant under new ownership the transfer embargoes get lifted, but I doubt that's going to happen.
DJ just put a link to the Good Enough Chat podcast.
Yeah, thank you, thank you,
on
DJ.
YouTube. So thank you for that, DJ. I will, DJ, if you can pin it in chat, much appreciated, mate. If not, I'll do it on my end. Someone got into Sky and cancelled the subscription sorted. Thank you, mate. I'm guessing you this one. This is a new one. Yeah, this is an eBay find. It's a Argentinian one, but that is just a classic. Sorry, that is a classic Wednesday shirt. I see that shirt and I think Wednesday.
Yeah. Look at that. It was that period, wasn't it, where the badge went to what it's.
That's how it should be. It should be in the stripe. You notice on the new ones, they're like half over, half in. Yeah.
Would you know? But that's the problem, right? So I've got a problem with the shirts from the last few years. The stripes are too thin.
Yeah, they are.
I like the thicker stripe. That's a proper Wednesday shirt to me, not the really narrow ones where you can't get the badge over it. That's
done me head in, because I look at it, I go, I like the shirt, and then when I'm doing the kit review, I look at the badge, I'm like, it's off-centered. Brilliant. I sent the person who did my artwork, I send it every year, and he puts a new central line and goes, it should be here. And it's like, I know. I just want to make sure I wasn't going mad. I'll do it, mate. Give me a minute. I
should just say it's on YouTube, but it's also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and a whole lot.
It's in the pin message now. So please go support it, because there's some really good stories on there. It's not, some of them, I'll be honest, there's been times where I've listened to some and I left the episode just crying because I just want to just say, you okay, mate? Or just message my mate and go, you good? Because that's what it should do, though. That's what it should do. It should make you immediately want to check on people and check yourself how you are.
It is. And I'd say this with your episode as well. It's a hard thing to listen to at times, but there is hope in that as well, because you're here, there is hope. And the things that I hope that the guys listen to it and that they get to learn something new stuff about you, because I think you come across brilliantly in it.
Thank you, mate. I'll be honest, there was stuff in it that I think I just went on the role of what I normally do, which is talking. And for some reason, I'm very good at talking about, I want to say bollocks, but it's not bollocks, it's important, but you know what I mean. I'm very good at just, when people get me talking, I'm hard to shut up, sadly. So guys, my sound gone, be back. Okay, mate. I'm like, I want the 90 badge back, punk like, it needs to be in the stripes. Yes! Yes! I was today years old when I realised that the new Owls logo is the same stance as the classic. Yeah, a lot of people don't realise that the badge we currently got is technically our old badge. But I'm intrigued to see what happens with the kits. I'm a Leaf fan. I hate modern kits. Yeah, I agree. I don't like some of these new kits. I can't say that because this is a belter, but it is a bit tin pot.
Well, the thing that if you had never had this kit, this shirt, the thing that you won't necessarily know is this isn't made of synthetic material. It's made of like cotton, so it's like wearing a t-shirt. It's not like wearing one of the normal ones where it's plasticky and a bit sweaty. This is perfect for when you're in warm weather. That's why I've worn it all day.
To be fair, I don't think Dan's seen my knock-up of my idea for merch.
Super. I think the blue lines are the right thickness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too
it's an idea I've got to do merch is people always ask me about merch, and I'll be brutally honest. Yes, merch is a fantastic idea until you start looking at the ins and outs of it, and then it's a headache because you've got to make sure it's the right stuff. Are you going to drop ship it? Are you going to ship it yourself? It's a nightmare.
It's funny because I was starting to look at that for the podcast as well, and I actually went as far and I set up a store on Tmail, and then I just thought, oh, now it's all getting complicated. So I got samples, but I never actually set up the store for it.
Yeah, it gets really complicated unless you've got a bit of a team. It will be worth for you guys to sell the club if you go under transfer bargain, knowing your own club can't. It is, but you're not buying the 18 months of the club. You're buying the future. So you've got to hope someone can see the vision past that. If you do have an 18-month transfer bargain like we could have, could it be a time where we make the academy stronger, the strongest it possibly can, and cherry pick out? Did anyone here pay the mystery to? I haven't done that yet, and I keep thinking about doing it. You heard about mystery shirts?
No. Oh, I've heard about mystery shirts, yeah, but is there a Wednesday specific one?
No, but you can have it ordered, and you can have it that you don't have Sheffield United shirts or other clubs. And I haven't done it yet. I want to. It gets heavy in the wet though. Yes. Yeah. Modern Kits are cheaply. You don't need to tell me twice. Our shirt's 70 quid last year. Yeah. I'm worried what he's going to put it up to this year if he gint. And I buy 3 of the sods each year. But we have been going for an hour, and I hadn't really noticed it was an hour. I'll be brutally honest. But
you've been exercising demons from the whole day, mate. That's why.
It's been a long, long day. It's been a very long day. But I want to thank you for your time tonight. I much appreciate it, mate. And I will, once the episode's out, I will put a link in the community post, and we'll put a link in there when we do streams and stuff, so people can go to it. Is there anything you want to say before we end the show, Dan?
I just wanted to say thank you to you for having me on this. This is, a proper bonus for me. I never thought I'd be able to actually come on a show with you and talk about this. We'll talk about DC. Thank you to everybody in the comments as well for getting involved and making me welcome. All I've got to say is I hope that you do listen or watch the episode when it goes live on Thursday morning. And I hope that also takes you into some of the other conversations in there. Each of them's completely unique, all very real, all really important conversations that I think are going to help people who need to see that stuff. So, yeah, please have a look. And
on that, DJ, I wouldn't mind, if it's okay with Dan, if we can figure it out, if we do like when you get your net, because you do it in series, don't you? Do it in seasons. Mm-hmm. So when you get your next load of seasons, if you want to come back, three months, 6 months, to come back and go, these are some of the new ones, and just have it. I am debating doing something that is a mental health stream, where it is we talk Wednesday, but we just talk about people's mental health, and not have it as a call-in, but just have it as a general, how is everyone doing? Because I don't think it's done enough, and I think the more we can do to improve it with things like the podcast or putting light onto people's mental health, because we could have something we don't know about, but someone in the chat could completely understand it.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. So maybe we'll have a discussion later down the lines when your next one comes and get you in again to go, hey, these are some of the big ones, and just don't tell people what the episode are, but give a little snapshot what they could be to think, and then see if that works.
Well, the other thing I would like to say, actually, Jake, is there are 2 things that I want to get out of every episode that goes out of the podcast. One is that it helps someone somewhere to realize that there are positive things they can do if they're feeling really crap. There are positive things they can do themselves. And the other one is just as important, is that it helps me to find the next guest. So a really important thing that your community could do is, if they see it and they think that it's valuable and useful, if they could share it on their social channels as well, that might help to bring forward a guest in the future. Because it's about men's mental health. Any guy is welcome to come on. The only thing I ask is that they just open up and talk about their personal lived experience of it. So any sharing would be massively appreciated.
We will do that for you. But we are going to end it there. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days, weeks, months. I have no idea what's going to happen with the situation. All I keep saying to people, wait and see. Because that's all we can do. All we can do is wait and see. There's nothing we can do. Yes, there's rumours. Yes, there's speculation. You wouldn't have guessed that the transfer window opened on Sunday. For us, that's just because Sunday right now, because we can't do nothing. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. we will see you in the next one. Go sub to Good Enough Chats and find him on all podcast platforms of choice. Maybe don't drive when you listen to him just a little bit, because you never know what some of the stories might be. Make sure you're in a safe place. That's what I say, because I have one where I was walking, I had to sit down and like, yeah, I need to change this and go back home before I listen to this. But have a good one, guys, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you.